Hello everybody, long time no see. There was a point I was going to do a video, I don't know, a month or so ago, 2 months ago, but I didn't. I've had a lot going on the last few months, and maybe I'll do a video about that eventually. But anyway, I just wanted to encourage you all to vote for school boards wherever you are. Find out when the voting is and vote. I never really noticed even anything about voting for them before. And got something in the mail today, 2 things in the mail today, and they actually at the top for voting for, this is from the school people running for school board. And then I got another one, like I said, and at the top it said vote Democrat. So it's, you know, I have homeschooled all these years, but I never knew, like, is this a new thing? Do they always do it that way? You know, the fact that you're voting for party for school board now. Anyway, so I encourage you guys to do some research if you haven't gotten anything in your mail about it. Find out when you guys' next voting for school board is, and, you know, try to stay tuned to that for any changes and vote. It's crazy. Anyway, you know, and as far as the transgender stuff goes, I mean, you know, you're gonna have to treat those kids nice, you know, and I mean, people are gonna do what they're gonna do with their kids, and there's only so much you can do. But you know, they're wanting to, they're wanting to have the parties. They're wanting to dress up the school. Ever since I decided to homeschool roundabout, I've noticed that they have the rainbow flag in the classrooms. And that was one reason why I decided to homeschool. And that was before all this really started becoming a big thing, you know, and I didn't like that. They decorate the whole school. We all know that stuff. That kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, that's what the Democrats want to push. That's what doesn't belong. Forcing kids, or maybe not, from what I understand, some parents don't get notices about it. They don't have to participate. In some schools, I guess they do. I only hear tidbits here and there about that kind of stuff. And I don't like it any more than I don't like, you know, Easter Bunny stuff in schools, and I don't like Christmas tree stuff in schools. But this stuff is like, you know, this stuff really takes the cake, you know, and it just doesn't. And fairly recently, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, I think, maybe, I don't know, between a couple weeks and a month ago, heck, I don't remember. But it hit my city Facebook page, and they're talking about how dare somebody upload the program over at one of the elementary schools here for the Pride celebration they had, and they said it was invading the children's privacy and all this stuff. So I played along and I acted like, you know, oh yeah, if they're, you know, if they're showing faces, they certainly shouldn't do that, which really, I mean, it is, you know, something to worry about. But that wasn't the case, because I looked at the video. You couldn't see any kids' faces. They didn't show that. They made sure that they were far out, that it was zoomed out far enough. Even if you zoomed in, you wouldn't make out faces. And they said, well, they shouldn't be playing their voices. Well, it doesn't matter if you play their voices. Anyway, and then they were saying that they weren't saying stuff that they were saying in that program, you know, and it was all about encouraging kids to, you know, do trans things, you know, wearing wigs, and wearing wigs is okay, and wearing wigs, whatever. I mean, all they have to teach kids is, you know, the golden rule. That's what they need to teach everybody. Treat everybody nicely, because children's feelings are going to get hurt in this, and it's the children lots of times are pawns. And I truly think that a lot of the parents have Munchausen's by proxy. I really do. And I think others, they just really wanted the opposite gender than they got for a child. And then there are going to be some who, you know, are tomboys or maybe they just aren't into sports, and they just get dragged through the rails because of it. And anyway, that's, why do we need politics now? So I guess now we do. Now we do need to vote party. This is just crazy. Instead of just teaching the golden rule, and it's just gotten so crazy, as you guys know. I mean, we don't need these books. I remember coming back from Mexico many years ago, 13 years ago, a little bit more than that, before one of my children was born, so it was a little bit more than that. Anyway, I was on the way home from Mexico. I was driving and I stayed at a hotel. And I turned on the TV because I was going to try to find something comforting, since I was, by myself with one child. And, anyway, on the TV, the parents were complaining about how the school was, in one of the classrooms in a school, they were reading, two moms and two dads, and to the children. This sort of thing, it just doesn't even need to be in schools. If some family is going to do that kind of thing, that should be up to them. Schools, they just have gone so far from the basics. All they need to do is teach the basics and let parents do whatever it is, It's just crazy. You guys know all this stuff anyway, so why should I tell you, But this stuff started way before everybody thought that this was a big thing. This stuff started way before that. Technically, this stuff started back in the 90s, if not before that. Technically, all this stuff started back in Bible times. But, I mean, pushing this agenda stuff actually started in the 90s. Do you guys remember? I don't know if you do, but if you were in the 90s, the movie, what was that movie? Well, never mind. My brain is mush. But it was the one where this guy who was like running for mayor or something like that. His parents, the Birdcage, I think maybe? And his parents were gay, and one of the parents was what would be today trans. Sort of, except for not changing any sort of genetic makeup and actual physical body parts. It was just, he was a dancer in some club and whatever those guys are called. Anyway, trans dressers. Oh heck, I don't remember. You guys know my brain. Like I said, I can't think of everything when I want to a lot of the time. But anyway, he danced in a club for gay people and danced as a female and all that stuff. And I do think it was called the Birdcage now. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, and so this stuff started way back then, and plus with Oprah, I mean, this stuff started way back. So it's not like, everybody really thinks that this is a new problem, and it's not. It's just gotten worse, and I will say, like I said before, the way a lot of females have dressed, and the sports magazines and beer commercials, and you guys remember back in the 90s, especially the MTV spring break stuff, how those girls dressed. It wasn't only a bad example for girls, because now these transgenders, they think that that's what being a girl is all about. Started way long time ago. It's not really a new thing. It's just that they've been given the pass to really, So anyway, just vote for find stuff out about the school board stuff, because it's becoming a voting for Democrat, Republic, and I really hate that, because, now we have to choose, a Republican too, where, I mean, that's the lesser of two evils, but, as far as general people goes, I think that's the best choice, and it's just going to be the best choice. However, in politics, as far as Washington's concerned, or governors and mayors, a lot of them are they're using people as pawns too, and they say that they stand for this and they stand for that, but then they do nothing. And as far as what happened with Trump, they all got quiet, and Turncoat Pence took the coin from Pelosi. Our mayor here, he's a Republican, mayor, yeah, whatever, governor, the governor here, whatever. Anyway, Republican, and I got this thing in text message the other day saying, you know, vote absentee. They really, you know, just that really makes me wonder, you know. Anyways, so just you're gonna have to choose which side, you know, because there's not gonna be, if there's an independent, then maybe, but you know that always screws up the vote and they never get it anyway. It'd be nice if they would, because then you might have somebody who'd be willing to make some compromise. There has to be some level of compromise, just because if you don't, you end up going nowhere and you just get, you know, they just fight you and fight you and fight you on it and you never get anywhere, you know. But anywho's, it's just make the best decision that you think that should be made, but make one. Get involved in this stuff and find out when the voting is for it. That's the biggest thing. Just vote for this stuff. Yeah, because I got this thing in the mail. I'm like, wow, you know, I don't remember ever getting anything about voting for that, but I'm going to do it this time. I have to, because boy, did they really, in the ads that they sent me, they really, you know, attack the, and as far as I know, there's only one person running as a Republican, you know, for the school board. This is crazy. I just cannot believe things have gotten like this. You know, like I said, I guess it's always been in schools to some degree, you know, but man alive. So now, Sally, we're voting party for school, you know, for these school boards. It is what it is, you know. Anyway, so that's all I had to say about that. And, you know, like I said, there was a video I was going to do a couple months ago. Anyway, I don't remember what that was, but I was really mad. I was like, this would really make a great video, but I just wasn't up to it. I just was not up to it. But, you know, maybe, hopefully, I'll be able to do another video with you guys sometime as things go. But, you know, it'll still be a while till you hear from me again, because I got lots of stuff going on. And, anyway, I guess I'll just tell you why, because here, 6 years after a tube tie, I am pregnant, and I spent a good 4 months having infections because of my emergency visit, and you know, they have to check your tubes, and that just moved some stuff around in there and caused infection to get rubbed into my insides, and it was just pretty terrible. So that explains 4 months of it, and then, you know, coming to terms with it, and just, you know, just a lot of me time, or just thinking and just taking a step back from this channel for a while, you know, just taking a step back, just taking a break, you know. But anywho's it, so keep me in your prayers. I'll be due beginning of December, possibly end of November, who knows, but technically the beginning of December, so yeah, just pray for me if you will, and of course for the baby. So anyway, FYI, any of you women out there with tube ties, just if you don't want to get pregnant, just be careful, or decide to go get tubes removed, or decide what you want to do. There are options. So just because, I mean, pregnancy is difficult, and some women, they've had, you know, some difficulties. Heck, I've had difficulties in mine, you know, and you get older, you know, and multiple children each time, it's difficult, you know. I'm not to say that children aren't blessings and stuff, because they are. I mean, I have come to terms with this, you know, and stuff, but it's just, pregnancy is difficult. So if you're one who's from the time of tube ties, because they're not doing that, I guess, anymore, just do know that it's not 100%, and take care of yourself. Yeah, unless of course you don't want to, but I mean, there's always a chance of becoming pregnant in your tubes, and my husband's aunt had that happen, and I know another girl who that happened to, and there are plenty others who that has happened to. They tell you it's rare, and like I told my doctor, yeah, well, you get a room full of us rare women, and you got a big amount of women there, so, you know, take care of yourselves, you know, do what's best for you. Anywho's it, so yeah, don't be afraid to, you know, say something or drop an emoji or whatever in the comments, and take care of yourselves, you guys, and look into the voting things, and yeah, stay strong these days, and be good, and thanks for listening. All right, bye-bye.